What's up, you guys? Hey, and hey again. Happy Tuesday. So, first of all, before we get into this review, let me get a programming note. There will not be a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City review tonight because I will be doing the panel on The Scene Atlanta, which is the new show that is premiering tonight. Actually, it's premiering at 8 o'clock. That is starring Scotty by Nature. So, we'll be doing our panel at 9:30, I think. So yeah, that's why. So I'm gonna have to change that date. I guess I'll do that tomorrow, maybe. All right, so that's the first thing. So second of all, let's get into this Married to Medicine. Now listen, I hate to bring up the obvious, okay, but here's what I have to say. We had a whole conversation last week about there needs to be some changes to Married to Medicine, and this episode proved to me that there needs to be some changes to Married to Medicine. We'll get to that when we get to it. Yes, stylish TV. Yes, Chuck. Yep. So, thank you. Hard DNA said I almost forgot to like while I was in the waiting room. Thank you, boo. So, first of all, in the opening credits, y'all know how they do at the opening of these shows. They show everybody kind of doing like family time and that kind of stuff. I have a question. Why is Contessa driving a Sprinter? I mean, in this episode, she talks about the problems that they're having and how they're both working like full-time. Both of them are working like 2 full-time jobs because they basically have had to close their practice while they wait for this new building to be open. Girl, are you moonlighting? Is one of your jobs an Uber driver? Because why are you driving a Sprinter? Am I the only one that saw that Contessa was driving a Sprinter? Nobody else had questions? Oh, she might have been doing mobile medical or medical deliveries. Okay. Maybe Chuck, I would, and let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with her being a Uber driver. Let's be clear. I just was questioning. Yes, Lock Queen, we're gonna get to that in a second. We're gonna get to that. So, anyway, so Toya is lounging out by the pool, child. She had to show off her new pool and her Louis Vuitton, pillow and towel, child. Because she tells, it was so weird because she left a note for Eugene to come out to the pool when he got home. And when he gets out to the pool, they go back inside. Girl, you couldn't have just met him at the door when he came home? Like, I know. What's up, Markel? I know you have a Ring camera on your phone or some sort of security system that you know when somebody is at your door. You mean to tell me you couldn't have just been like in the kitchen waiting for Eugene when he got home? I know you got his location. You say you still go through that man's phone. So I know you got his location. You don't know when he pulling into the complex. Anyway, so the two of them basically just have a conversation. She got to catch him up on what he missed. And they talk about Dr. Heavenly running for office. And both of them are dumbfounded by it, as we all were. Like, I don't want anybody... Even if you like Dr. Heavenly, I don't want anybody to act like they were shocked when we heard the news that Dr. Heavenly was planning to run for office. Like, we're not going to play that game. All of us are. Okay? Or all of us were. So they proceed to give us this flashback montage of all of the bad behavior of Dr. Heavenly, which, of course, again, whether you like her or not, all of those things popped in our head when we found out she was running for office. Now, while this is going on at the same time, Toya is over, Dr. Heavenly is over at her house talking to her husband about running for office. Let me tell you what I hate. I hate that baby voice that Dr. Heavenly talks to her husband with. I hate it. Daddy, look at what I did, Daddy. You like it? First of all, I always have a problem with women who call their spouses daddy. I don't like it. It makes me feel weird Because I'm like, why are you calling the man you sleep with daddy? I don't like it. And let's be clear, I had a great aunt. And she's my favorite. She was my Aunt May to the day she died. She was my favorite. Okay. She was my great aunt, actually. I just said that. And she called her husband daddy. And I mean, as a kid, I didn't know anything other than that she called him daddy. He was Uncle Phil to me. Like, that was his name, but she called him daddy. I ain't like, as an adult though, I don't like it. And I find it weird. So, and then the fact that she talks in that baby voice when she's talking to him, calling him daddy, that don't help. And I am not inferring that there's anything, inappropriate there. I mean, they're in the same age range. They met while they were in college. Like, I'm not inferring anything like that. I just think it's weird. It's just weird to me. You had a great aunt, Anime. Okay. All right. Right. First name Uncle. Okay. But neither here. Tina Campbell does the same thing. It works for them. It don't work for them. Not the way she acted a fool on national television when she found out about that man cheating. No, that don't work for them. I mean, they have moved past it, but. And again, I'm not telling nobody else how to live their life. I'm just telling y'all it's weird to me. And I hate that baby voice that she uses. But neither here nor there. Basically, she is having a conversation that when I say everybody, I don't mean everybody, but some people have been wanting her to have. She's finally opening up about the situation with the son. Now, let me be honest and let me be very transparent with you guys. I 100% believe that Dr. Heavenly did not know nothing about that. I believe it. And let me tell you why I believe it. Not because I believe Dr. Heavenly, because we know Dr. Heavenly be lying. I believe it because fathers do shit like that. Mothers do shit like that. There have been things that happened to me as a child that my mama never told my daddy about. And there have been things, now my father did it more so with my brother than with us, but there were things with my brother that my father never told my mother about. And my brother did some shit. Okay? I remember one weekend my brother got arrested. And they didn't tell my mama. I mean, eventually she found out. But in the moment, they didn't tell my mama. So, like, I can believe that the son called his father, told his father's situation. The father thought, like he said, Damon said, look, I thought I had it handled. I thought I could take care of it and you never found out. And I do believe that she did not know in that moment. Now, I'm not going to say that she never found out, but I believe that for a very long time, they did keep it a secret. I absolutely believe that. I believe it. Just like I believe that when she found out, she lost her mind and cussed that boy out. She said that she got upset and she said some things. And she said he packed up his shit and he left the house and he ain't been back. She said she has not physically seen her son since they had that argument. And that's part of the reason why I believe that she ain't know, because she wouldn't have reacted that way if she knew. And I think her reaction was more about being embarrassed by it and finding out the way she found out rather than what he actually did. Thank you. What's up? Thank you, Sweet Condi. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now, the conspiracy theory in me feels like when Dr. Heavenly did find out, I almost feel like they leaked it to the blogs so the information would get out because she was planning to run for office. Because let's be clear, the information would have come out. Excuse me, y'all. She was able to successfully keep it from the blogs for Married to Medicine. Excuse me. But she wouldn't have been able to keep it off the out of the media for her running for office. Now, and that's no disrespect to the bloggers who broke the story. I don't want nobody to be like, I'm not. There's no disrespect to the bloggers who broke the story. But at the same time, I have to ask the question. Thank you, boo. I have to ask the question. They kept it out of the news for 2 years. The day he got arrested, all of his follow-up court dates, all of that. Nothing ever hit the news until a couple of months before she announced she was running for office. I just find that coincidental. As somebody, listen, for some of y'all who know, some of y'all who don't know, my undergraduate degree is in political science. I have worked on political campaigns. I have been a part of these types of conversations. The first thing when you get ready to run for office and you sit down with your team, the first question they ask you is there anything that we need to know? Don't short-sight it. Don't hold your breath. Don't tell it. We need to know everything because we can't protect you if we don't know what it is. And if at that moment, Dr. Heavenly said, well, look, my son had a situation, they would have figured out a way to spin it. I'm not saying that's what happened. I am not saying that is what happened. I am just saying I find it interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I find the timing interesting. Let me say that. I find the timing interesting. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying I find it very interesting. Hold on. Somebody said something. Words can't be taken back. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. Words can't be taken back. If she talked to him like she does the castmates, he may never talk to her again. He may forgive her, but he will never forget how they made him feel. Facts, Janice. Facts. Hey, Miss Heath. I wouldn't have called you Janice. Hey, Miss Heath. Damon almost told Unheavenly knowing before she said she did. He did. And as I said, now I believe she knew before we knew. Let's be clear. When she said she found out on social media, I don't believe that. I don't believe she found out on social media. That's my opinion. I don't believe that. But I do believe that when it first happened, they did not tell her. Because again, in my own family, I know that my mom there have been stuff that my mom kept from my dad and vice versa. Like I said, I know there were things that they kept from my mom. So, and I'm not saying forever and ever and ever, but I mean, in the moment until they probably figured out how the best way to handle it. And yeah, and Chuck said it. Isn't he a junior? Yeah, he's a junior. So the fact that we as the bloggers never picked up on that in 2 years, that's a long time to keep something like that under wraps. And he got the same name as his daddy. And in the state of Georgia, I mean, it wasn't in Atlanta, but he goes to Georgia State, or at the time. So Bab said, I'm definitely saying that's what happened. That's my boo Bab. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know me and this daggone chair, honey. Me and this daggone chair. Oh, no. The chair wasn't down. That was just me, I guess. Now I think I'm so subconscious about the chair. It's okay. You didn't see to call me Gracefully Seasons until YouTube changed my name. I know. I hate it. I don't like that YouTube did it, and I don't like that they did it without giving people an option. I think they should definitely. I just don't like it either. I don't like it either. But yeah. So with that being said, I feel like that was a way for us to find out. Now, on the flip side, as far as how it has affected their family dynamic, I believe. And again, I know people don't like Heavenly, so it's one of those things. If you don't like her, then you don't like her. But I believe she's affected by it. I believe it does bother her. I remember me and my mom, when I was in college, me and my mom got into a nasty argument. We got into a nasty argument. And I blame my mama for everything. You hear me? And in the interim, I was wrong. Like, I was wrong. And I didn't cuss at my mother or nothing like that. I was a little disrespectful. I was a little within reason. Because, I mean, I still feel like if I had been too disrespectful, my mother would have gotten in the car and drove to North Carolina to whoop my ass. But I still remember what the argument was about. I'm not going to get into that. But I was having a bad day. I was going through some stuff, and I basically blamed my mama for everything that was wrong in my life, you know? And I wouldn't speak to her after that. And this was before the days of cell phones and stuff. So basically, I talked to my parents when I called collect. You know, I had to call collect or, you know, long distance. So you didn't call often because you was going to pay long distance. So I just didn't call my mama. And I remember my dad calling me. And he didn't say, because my dad didn't get involved. Just like Damon told Heavenly, I can't get in that. Like, he gonna have to handle it. You know, he's an adult. He's gonna have to come to you, you know, because she was like, can you make him? And he was like, no, I cannot make him come home. But my dad, I remember my dad calling me, and he was very careful with his words. He not trying to come at me like, you need to do this, that, and the other. But he was just like, you know, so have you talked to your mama? I said, no. And he was like, well, I know she misses you. You know, I know she would love to hear from you, you know. And he kind of came at it from that angle. And I did end up calling her. And like I said, I was wrong. I can admit it now. Grown, I was wrong. And so I'm sure that I don't know what Heavenly said to her son. Wasn't there, right? But if she admitted that she said some things that were nasty, then you can probably make that times 2. Because if whatever she admitted, it was probably a little bit worse. And I don't mean just because she's Dr. Heavenly. I mean in general. Once we admit something, I mean, I might have said something a little disrespectful. It was probably worse. You know? And at the very least, he heard it worse. Now, I don't think she disowned him or nothing like that, but she probably came at him really, really hard, right? Now, depending on what she said, I don't know what she said, but I might not disagree with her, depending on what she said to him. Because what he did was stupid. I mean, based on the police report, you know? But anyway, it was a controlled leak. Heavenly did it the way that made the most sense, given her circumstances. I don't blame her. I don't blame her either. Especially if you know that you are getting ready to start. Because to be honest with you, she probably been waiting for it to come out and nobody picked it up. And she was just like, damn it, what I need to do? She probably had been waiting for that story to come out. Because she damn sure wasn't going to come down here herself and tell it. You know? No shade, but is this the child that everyone thinks is gay? I don't think so. I think it's the other son. I don't think it's the son that he's been on the show once or twice, but the son that was working in her office last year that was on more. I don't think it's him. I think it's the oldest one. Right. Katrina said, right, like when you get stopped by the cops and they ask if you've been drinking and you say 2 beers when it's really sick. Yeah. Yeah. So with that being said, it's out now. And I'm sure they're going to keep talking about it. And listen, Markel said earlier, can't nobody make him hate Toya. I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't mad at Toya and this situation with Heavenly. I told y'all that last week. And I hope Toya keep her foot on Heavenly's neck the whole season. I hate the fact that she's a friend of and she can pick and choose when she want to be around the group. Because I feel like she need to be there all the time. She need to deal with this shit because all these years that she has had taken pleasure in other people's pain. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So we'll get back to that later. So next we see Contessa and Scott done bought this building and they about to go broke. Listen. I don't know the answer to any of the questions that I'm getting ready to ask. Full stop. I don't know the answer to any of these questions I'm getting ready to ask, but I'm going to throw them out there and y'all tell me what y'all think. Contessa and Scott, as I was watching this scene with y'all and this office building that you guys have purchased, my wondering as I was listening to the story, my first wondering was, did you have a business plan? My second wondering was, before you bought this office, had you fully done your research on everything you wanted to do as far as improvement, as far as the build out? Had you already, and listen, we can throw the contractors out because the contractors always tell you some bullshit. They always tell you less than what you really gonna spend. They always tell you less time than they really gonna need. So we already know that the contractors was on some bullshit, right? Did you take that into account? Or if the contractor said 3 months, did you really think it was going to be 3 months? Because not one person who has ever had work done with a contractor, we all know that it don't work that way. Okay. That's my next question. My third question was, why didn't y'all finance this building? Right, see, walkers know that's my teacher lingo. My wanderings and noticings, yes, my wows and wonders. My first question was, why did y'all pay cash? Why didn't y'all finance this? Because if you had to finance it, you would have had to have a business plan and all of those things. Why would y'all pull together almost $2 million where you cashed out your 401ks and all of these things to buy this building? That, I'm all for ownership, you guys. I'm all here for ownership. I'm absolutely here for ownership. I'm here for that. But if you're not ready or you're not in a position, because here's the thing, if you couldn't get financed for $2 million, then you probably didn't need it in that moment. In that moment, that doesn't mean forever. That does not mean forever. But I find it's just weird to me that y'all paid cash for a building that you still had. Now, if the building was ready to open day one, like the minute they handed you the keys, you only needed to, maybe do a paint job, maybe, redo the tile in the bathroom, a few little, nips and tucks. Okay, that's one thing. But baby, that's a full-on construction project. They're putting in new toilets, okay? The floors are not done, okay? They still got wood paneling doors. What were y'all thinking? And then you put it all, y'all got 3 kids that aren't even in college yet. Y'all put everything on the line. I feel like, and again, I don't know y'all business, but y'all couldn't go get finance for this building? I just, and this is where I need the messy Heavenly back. Because when Heavenly, and I know she's doing it with Carlos on Patreon, but no. I need the free Heavenly on her YouTube because, see, Heavenly would have broke that shit down for us. Heavenly would have told us why she did it. Heavenly would have said what the issue is and why she did what she did. Because there's a reason. Nobody that's not in that position. Because, again, you might, when you're in the financial position to do it, that's one thing. But nobody does all of that if they don't have to. Or they're just piss poor ass business people. But she said they're losing customers because, of course, they're going to find somebody else to go to. Y'all are doing holistic medicine and stuff like that. I'm no disrespect to people who do holistic medicine, but they come not a dime a dozen, but people can, if people really are trying to be on a wellness track that doesn't include like pharmaceuticals and stuff, they have to continuously keep that stuff up. So they're going to find somebody else to go to. Maybe they're only saying this for a storyline. I don't know, y'all. I'm not convinced. Now, are they exaggerating? Maybe they're exaggerating, but I ain't convinced that this is only for a storyline. I could be wrong, though. Right. If it was turnkey ready, then I'd be like, okay, if it just needed a little nip and tuck, maybe, maybe. You hear daily of contractors who grab the money. Right? Yeah, it's just crazy. But anyway, and then part of the storyline is that Eugene is going to rent it out. So they explain why Eugene is looking for new space because he was in a lease, and when the lease was up, they were looking for a new space because it was always supposed to be temporary. So, I tell you what, though, if it is a storyline, she better go get Buffy money because Buffy done already put a lien on her house. So she better go on over there. So next we see Toya and Dr. Simone. They're visiting Brandy's clinic. They're going to get some micro braiding, I don't know. I think they was getting the eyebrows or maybe the nether regions done. And yeah, I know how it is. Yes, honey, Aline. Lean. Lean. Yep. We talked about this. See, this tell me y'all don't be watching all my videos. I did a video on this. Yes. Y'all know that Dr. Contessa sued Buffy. The case, I don't want to say that the case was thrown out or dismissed. I think Dr. Contessa withdrew, right? She decided she sued Buffy. They did some preliminary stuff, but then Dr. Contessa decided she didn't want to go through with this, so she withdrew the case. But then Buffy countersued for her legal fees. She said, you gonna pay me what I done spent. You done made a big deal. You done took me to court. I want my legal fees. And she won. She was granted her legal fees. So Dr. Contessa owed Buffy something like $200 and something thousand in legal fees. She hasn't paid them. So Buffy, back in August, I think it was, Buffy went down to the courthouse and put a lien on her house for her money. Sure did. Sure did. So there's that. Now, listen. While they were there, they never got the service done because Toya got a phone call from Eugene telling her that their dog had drowned in the pool. Let me say something. This is why I say that we need some changes down to the Married to Medicine. We had a whole funeral for that dog. Now, before the dog lovers come for me, I'm having a little bit of an issue with the funeral, but I know, because they was in a church and everything, y'all. Toya made them people wear white. She let them bring their own dogs. And they had a whole funeral for their dog. My issue isn't even that Toya had a whole funeral for the dog. My issue is that they made it part of the episode. And it was a whole segment. It wasn't even like a couple of, like a little small clip to say, this is how Toya memorialized her dog. No. Them people won their Sunday's best. Y'all liked it? Okay, well, y'all said y'all like it. I was fine with the memorial service, but the funeral in the church was too much. I didn't mind the funeral. It was the church space, the dress code. I thought the scene was cute and lighthearted. Dog funeral at the church is crazy. They could have had that in the backyard. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with her memorializing her dog, especially since as long as they've had that dog. They've had that dog 18 years. Most dogs don't even live that long. So I did not have an issue with the memorialization of the dog. Let's be clear. That is not my issue. My issue, the church was an issue for me. It was. But my issue is that they made it a major part of the trip. Of the show. And so my question is, had Toya's dog not untimely died, because it was sudden, what else would y'all have put in this episode? What did y'all not show us to give us the dog funeral? See what I'm saying? Maybe I'm tripping. Markel, you a producer. Maybe I'm tripping. Because you don't have YouTube Premium. If you had YouTube Premium, you wouldn't see no commercials. They've been playing commercials during lives. I don't know why you hadn't been seeing them. I just feel like, is that what they did? They dropped Quad's party to show us the dog funeral. And that's what I mean. Like, the fact that production thought, and again, some of y'all said y'all liked it, so maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I personally was like, I mean, I'll be honest, I fast forwarded through the whole thing. I was not interested at all. And maybe you have to be a dog lover to get it. And I love dogs, I just don't own one. But I just feel like I didn't feel like it needed to be a whole segment. Maybe it's me, but I just didn't feel like it needed to be a whole segment. Just a guess. Yeah, because we know they filmed Quad's party. We know they filmed the party. Remember Funky.Neva was there and all of that? We know they filmed it. No, nothing happened at that funeral that had anything to do with the story. Not a thing. No, I mean, call me crazy, but not a thing happened in that. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Those who watched it, tell me if I missed something, because I definitely fast forwarded. I was not sitting through a memorial service for a dog. Absolutely not. I wasn't doing it. Sorry, not sorry. As a producer, they had a lot of scenes with Dr. Heavenly, but when she started to run, they had to cut her out and kept the show moving. That's what is missing. Got it, Markel. And that makes sense. What? My sister is sending me her Christmas list, child. That's why my phone keep going on. Didn't Real Housewives of Potomac feature a dog charity show last season? Housewives have always been a dog charity show. That's different. That's for me, that's different because it's a charity. They were raising money. It was an event, and it just happened to be because they were the ASPCA people were auctioning. It was an auction, and then people were adopting dogs. That is not the same as a dog funeral down to the church with a dress code. I'm sorry, I ain't putting that on the same level. That was a fundraiser, and that was bringing awareness to dogs, adopting dogs, and that kind of thing. That is not the same thing, in my opinion. But let's be clear, I would say this about any of the shows, because I said this last season on the Real Housewives of Atlanta when Kelly had that ridiculous party for her dog at the park. I said the same thing. Again, I get it that there are people who love their dogs. I get it. There are people who love their dogs. I thought that was a bit much, and I don't feel like it needed to be a full segment. That's just me. I just didn't feel like it needed to be a full segment. Because again, like somebody asked, did it move any storylines? Absolutely not. There was absolutely nothing in nothing. But anyway, so the next scene is we have Contessa and Toya on their way to Jackie's having an event. They talk about the building again and them renting from Contessa. I feel like that's not going to go well, and I feel like that's going to be an issue later on in the season, but we'll get there when we get there. Not why do people do silly stuff for dogs, but not for cats, child. They get to Jackie's event. I love how they were smuggling drinks into Jackie's event because they said that Jackie don't never have no liquor at her events. See, I don't like people like that. Just because you don't drink, you know your friends drink. Why you don't have no liquor at your events, Dr. Jackie? I think that's rude. How you don't have no liquor at your events, Jackie? You know your friends drink just because you don't drink. I think that's rude. Anyway, so I thought that was cute. I don't blame them for sneaking the liquor in. I don't even blame them for it. So basically, Dr. Jackie told the ladies to drink sexy because basically and wear heels. It was a whole like sexy dance class. It was cute. The ladies dressed up. Everybody had on their, what their idea of sexy was, and they had on their heels. Baby, Dr. Simone is me. Dr. Simone showed up in her sneakers and carried her heels. I ain't mad at you, Dr. Simone. She said, listen, I am not coordinated, and so I'll put the heels on when I get here, okay? I'm going to put these good sneakers on, though, all right? But the ladies showed up in their little sexy outfits, okay, to do their thing. they go through the motions. You know, all the ladies are there. It's a full group event. It's a group scene. So the new girls are there. Brandy and Tiffany are there. Dr. Heavenly is there. Contessa, you know, all the people. Everybody is there. Okay. First, they done bought a whole flower arrangement for Toya's dog. Didn't we just go to the whole funeral? Now, I feel like maybe this scene was before the funeral, even though they showed us the funeral before they showed us the scene. And the reason why I say that is because Jackie bought them flowers like that's what they were going, that was what they were doing for Toya for her dog. And I feel like this was filmed first and then the funeral was filmed later. Like you said, as a filler scene. I wasn't mad at them bringing the flowers when I figured that the flowers probably came before the whole funeral, because I was like, y'all just had a whole funeral. Why are you bringing flowers? But I feel like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't, but because I still don't feel like there was a need for both. But okay. When they get done going through the little sexy dances or whatever, the arrangement had to be 3 to 4. Oh, the arrangement was beautiful. And calla lilies are my favorite. And I love calla lilies. And they were beautiful. Can I ask y'all a question in y'all honest opinion? Do y'all think Quad had work done? Now, I remember a couple of seasons ago, Quad got mad at Dr. Heavenly when Dr. Heavenly said that her butt wasn't real. And she said, my butt is absolutely real. But did y'all see that booty on Quad? Y'all think Quad had work done? Okay, everybody says yes. Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay. I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. Quad look good now. But that booty, it was a lot going on with that booty. Okay. All right. I mean, it look good now. Don't get me wrong. Quad look good. I ain't fronting. Miss Quad. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, Dr. Heavenly said that. Dr. Heavenly said everybody on that show done had something done. She said that herself. And again, I know we can't believe everything that Dr. Heavenly says, but Dr. Heavenly said that she said everybody that had some work done up on here. She alluded to Toya getting lipo at the beginning of every season. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway. So after we do that, then it was time to talk. Y'all know, now we got to talk the issues out. So first it was Quad and Simone. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care. I don't care nothing about this scene with Quad and Simone, because Quad and Simone stay being mad at each other. I said Tiffany, that lady's name is right. Angel, my bad. It's Angel. Angie. Quad's friend. Let me be clear. Simone looks the same to you. Simone who? Oh, Dr. Simone? Oh no, Dr. Simone has had she's had lipo. She's had or fat transfer. Yeah. Dr. Simone has definitely had lipo. You can look at Dr. Simone and see she's had lipo. Mm-hmm. But she looks good. You see, I done told y'all before that I don't have no problem. With plastic surgery as long as you don't get overboard with it, and it looks good. Like it looks good. Simone looks good. My cousin just had her butt done last year, and by looking at how her butt looks and how Quad butt moves, I think Quad's is real. Okay. Somebody said she wears butt pads. Those weren't butt pads. That was her butt. But okay. So neither here nor there, child. So I don't know, y'all. Anyway, I ain't getting into it. It is what it is. So basically, they argued again about not knowing why they mad at each other, and they yelled, and then they cried, and then they made up. I do not care nothing about Simone and Quad, because they've been arguing for 5 seasons about the same shit. Oh, Simone wears butt pads. Oh, okay. Moving right along. The next, we have Toya and Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly, you in no way, shape, or form have any reason to be mad at Toya for having an opinion about anything you got going on. First of all, you are running for public office. You can't be mad that Toya has an issue with thinking about voting for you. And it doesn't matter whether she lives in your district or not. We know that she may not live in your district and can't actually vote for you. The point was, I would not vote for you because of these things, because of the type of person you have shown yourself to be, because of the character of who you are. I don't believe that you should just automatically vote for your friends just because you know them if you don't think they're right for the job. I just don't believe that to be the case. And Toya and Heavenly are not friends. They do not hang out. Heavenly has said it. Toya has said it. They are not friends. So I don't feel like Toya is wrong for her opinion. That arrest was 2 years ago. What you talking about, Markel? Ain't nobody said nothing about no arrest. I'm talking about Dr. Heavenly, who she is. I don't have a problem with Toya and Toya's opinion. And Dr. Heavenly, you're going to have to do a better job of how you respond. Because if you're really serious about running for office, you have to understand that people are going to feel like Toya. People who have been watching you on this show for the last 10 years show your natural ass are going to have the same issues and the same concerns, especially in the district where you live, where I'm sure you live in a very affluent neighborhood. I'm sure you have some very affluent neighbors who somebody showed them a clip of you telling them about somebody's mama and all the other things that you've done on this show. You got some splaining to do if you want people's vote. And your response can't be, Toya, do you even know what a representative does? That's condescending as fuck. That don't have nothing to do with what she said to you. And I'm with Toya. I don't care. I wouldn't vote for you to be. Doesn't matter what a representative does. I don't think that you are qualified for the job. Deal with the reason why she doesn't want to vote for you and less about questioning her intelligence. Because, see, again, I understand this is a show and we're making a scene, but that goes back to what I was saying when Dr. Heavenly first announced. If this is a serious run, then you have to always be on go as it relates to your campaign. But here's the thing. So baby girl said, if this administration can go around acting that way, they're acting, especially the current president, the way he speaks about and two females. I say there's nothing wrong with Heavenly running. See, I have a problem with that. Not you have a right to feel how you will, baby girl. But what I'm saying is I have a problem with that thought process because we can't lower the standards just because the standards are fucked up right now. Because what we don't want is to constantly be stuck where we are right now. Yes, the standard is at 0 right now, but we don't want to keep it there. So if we say, well, I don't really give a damn about any other elected official and what they do, because right now the president is at a 0, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay at 0. And let's be clear, I didn't vote for that. So my standard is still where my standard is. Just because they voted for the nitwit and they voted for it, I'm not changing my standard. Now, the reality of the situation is, if I did live in Dr. Heavenly's district and I could vote for her, I would listen to a speech. I would go to a debate. I would see how serious she really was. But just as a viewer on TV, Toya ain't wrong, in my opinion. Toya ain't wrong for questioning that. And Dr. Heavenly has to understand that she's going to have to win people over. But if we don't lower our standards to match the standards and energy, we're going to always be behind the 8 ball with an administration like this. We're too politically correct to go against them. See, I think that's for me, I hear what you're saying, but for me, it's two different things. For me, if I thought that Dr. Heavenly, like I said, I would be open to if I could actually vote for her. But what I'm saying is, I think that, so when we talk about the president and the current administration, right? That's one issue for me. I'm talking about for me. That's one issue where I feel like, yes, the Democrats are too soft in how they're fighting back. But I don't think the way to fight back is to lower the standard of who we elect. That's what I'm saying. I think that fighting back is them pushing against this bullshit. I think there are a lot of things that people could be doing that they're not doing that are in a position to fight back. And none of that includes lowering the standard for me. There's a lot that the Democrats can do that I think they're not doing. But none of that, for me, includes lowering a standard. But I honestly feel like, again, if I could vote for her, I would hear her out. I would go to a debate. I would hear a speech. I really would. I'm not saying that I would automatically write her off just because of who she is. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't just automatically write her off. But the flip side is she would definitely have to convince me. She would have to convince me. That's my opinion. That's just me though, y'all. That's just me. But did you see how easily Dr. Heavenly was triggered though? Because the minute she got up and got in Toya's face, she lost. The minute she got up and got in Toya's face, she lost. The whole son thing, bringing up her child again. It's a reality show. If it's in the news, they're going to talk about it. If it had been Toya's son, they'd be talking about it. If it had been Contessa's son, they'd have been talking about it. If it had been, Simone's son, they'd have been talking about it. If it had been, if it had been Jackie's stepchild, her husband's kids, they'd have been talking about it if it made the blogs and if it was in the news. So again, I don't feel like Toya said anything derogatory that we saw. Now, Dr. Heavenly claims that Toya said a lot worse and they cut it out. I don't know how much I believe about that. I think she's just trying to justify her response because we've seen Toya have the same conversation 3 times. Yeah, Curtis has kids. We've seen Toya have the same conversation 3 times. And I ain't heard her say nothing worse than, did you hear about what allegedly is in the, we don't, what's in the blogs. And I think Toya just wants it to be talked about because they know that Dr. Heavenly gets away with so much. And the minute Heavenly jumped up and got in Toya's face, she lost. She lost. He has a daughter. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. But that was pretty much the episode, you guys. The guys had a whole conversation and basically the guys were just talking about, they were trying to, break in the new husbands. I believe Brandy's husband was at this outing. But let me say this. The little thing came up with Curtis letting it be known that he basically didn't appreciate what Toya said. And Eugene's thing was she didn't lie. Like, because they were talking about, should you defend your wives if they're lying? And basically they said, yeah, publicly defend them and privately, correct them or whatever. But basically they were like, Eugene was like, Toya ain't lie though. Like, he asked her a question, she answered it, and she didn't lie in her answer. You may not have liked her answer, but she didn't tell no lie. And basically, Eugene was like, I mean, you can be mad, but she ain't lie. You can be mad about it if you want to, but no lies were told. So that was pretty much the episode, you guys. If you don't forget that I did pin my Christmas wish list again. Nobody has to buy me anything, but people have asked, so there is. We are doing an event here locally. If you live in the DC area, we are doing a candle making event in January. Myself and Shay in the city are sponsoring the event. It's sort of it's sort of an unofficial meet and greet kind of thing. If you are interested, I will put the link in the chat if you are in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, because it's going to be at the National Harbor in Maryland. So there's the link for that. The event is $75. That includes a candle making class, and then of course you get your own candle. That is going to be January the 31st at 1:00. Seats are limited. It's only right now we only had 10 seats, and we've already had 4 people pay. So we only have 6 seats left. So if you're interested, fill out the Google Doc so I can know that you're interested, and then if you need to reach out to me and let me know on the back end when you're going to pay me, that kind of thing, that's cool. But we can't book the space until we have the money. So the money is due no later than, I think we said January the 9th. I think we said no later than January the 9th. So I know it's Christmas time. I know people money is tied up, but let me know. And we'll talk. Okay. Let me know. All right. Also we are doing Christmas baskets. We are also doing Christmas baskets. If you know of a family, or it could be an individual person who this holiday season could use a Christmas dinner. Again, here's the Google Doc. If you could just fill out the Google Doc, and let us know. Also, I am taking donations for those Christmas baskets. So we're trying to send out baskets just like we did for Thanksgiving. For Thanksgiving, we sent out 67 baskets. No, 70. I keep saying 67, but I ended up having to send a couple more. So let's just round it up to 70. We sent 70 baskets for Thanksgiving. I don't think we're going to get that for Christmas, but I would love to get to 15 or 20. So again, feel free. You can send donations to my Cash App, my PayPal, my Zelle. And then if you know of a family, or if it's you, I'll never know if it's you, okay? Or if it's you, fill out the Google Doc, okay? All right, with that being said, join me at 9:30 over at JoJo's channel to discuss the new web reality show, The Scene Atlanta, starring our very own Scotty by Nature. That is what I'm about to go do right now. The episode started at 8, so I'm about to jump over there now so I can watch the episode and be ready to talk about it. All right. Mwah! I'll talk to you guys later. Tracy will be there. She's coming, y'all. Tracy is coming to DC. All right. Talk to y'all later.